According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, every day, more than 130 people in the United States die after overdosing on opioids. Opioids like prescription pain relievers, heroin, and others like fentanyl. And it's estimated that this opioid misuse, which is caused by drug addiction, is costing the US $78.5 billion a year. The challenge here is the addiction. The addicts in our society are trapped, prisoners to their addictions, where every craving is like an itch that you just can't ignore. And ironically enough, scientists have actually been aware of the potential of psychedelic drugs like LSD as an addiction killer for decades. Since the 1960s, this knowledge has led many addicts to experiment with various psychedelics to cure their drug addictions. And this is where our story starts, in the 1960s with a young bearded man by the name of Howard Lotsof, a heroin addict. He and his friends were experimenting with the psychedelic drug known as Ibogaine in the hopes to kill their addictions. Ibogaine is a naturally occurring psychoactive substance found in the woody West African shrub that sprouts orange fruits shaped like upside-down teardrops. Members of the native Bwiti tribe eat the root bark of this shrub as part of their religious rituals. Americans, on the other hand, have sought out this plant for decades in hopes of enlightenment. In fact, there have even been blog posts and Reddit threads detailing how this root bark renders intense visions, hallucinations, and journeying into the deep vortexes of memory. One Redditor described their experiences like this: "As I lay there, I could feel the medicine taking over my entire body, as if an extraterrestrial had entered my bloodstream and was taking over. I could feel it doing its work on my brain, repairing the virus known as addiction." And as the story goes, for Lotsof and his band of heroin addicts, they tripped for 2 days straight, and as things were finally starting to settle down, they realized they had lost their compulsion for heroin. And at that point, after experiencing what felt like a miracle firsthand, Lotsof believed he had the cure to addictions. This led him in 1983 to create a foundation for this cure, where he reached out to politicians and scientific researchers about Ibogaine, trying to get it tested and approved. Later that same year, he went on to file a patent for the use of Ibogaine as an addiction interrupter, and then went on to form the company called NDA International to lead this work. Stan Glick, a researcher at Albany Medical Center, was one of the first to conduct lab tests of Ibogaine on morphine-addicted rats. What he found was that within a few hours, the rats were convulsing in body tremors, indicating that they were hallucinating. And then a day later, the rats were slowing, if not stopping, their intake of morphine. Once again, the drug proved to kill the addiction. Soon after this experiment, researchers and academic institutions from around the world were studying Ibogaine. And as more and more research was being done, the side effects of Ibogaine were revealed. Side effects such as vomiting and slowed heart rate that were in some cases lethal. These side effects, paired with the vivid hallucinations, indicated to Glick that Ibogaine was not an ideal candidate for medical use, but it had potential. So he teamed up with a medical chemist to engineer a version that eliminated some of these side effects. After testing around 60 different compounds, they found the one, called 18-MC. 18-MC killed addictions just like Ibogaine and didn't include any of the nasty side effects. When he published his first paper on this substance in 1996, he thought there would be immediate interest. He just made a huge breakthrough in developing a drug that could kill the addictions that have been plaguing the country. Instead, all he heard was crickets. Big pharmaceutical companies weren't interested in the addiction space 20 years ago. It seemed too risky a business for them, and the smaller, more eager companies lacked the necessary funds to push the compound through clinical trials. But this work was too important to shelf, so Glick went on to start his own drug company called Savant Health and Wellness Partners, for which they were working on getting this drug, 18-MC, through human safety trials. After 9 years of working on 18-MC, Glick's company, Savant, ran out of money and was not able to move the program forward to the next phase. And then in June of 2019, another company called MindMed acquired Savant to continue their work. Right now, they're preparing for FDA clinical trials for 18MC. From the West African shrubs, people have been seeking out the root bark of this Ibogaine plant in hopes of seeking enlightenment and curing their addictions. After many decades and tests, MindMed is working on an evolved form of this drug in hopes to bring it to the market and liberate millions of people from the addiction that are taking over their lives. What is an addiction of yours that you want to kill? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe with notifications, and I'll see you on the next one.